Adana, remember, you are dirt poor and you lied to him. He will never date or even think of to marry someone as poor like you. Always have that in your mind. Adana sighed as she entered the fancy restaurant in Lagos. This was her 11th attempt at pretending to be from a wealthy Igbo family, hoping to catch a rich husband. She tried to calm her nerves, but the lies were weighing heavily on her. "Stop that fidgeting," her mother Ngozi whispered harshly. "You are not nervous, are you?" "I'm allowed to be nervous," Adana replied. "You are making me lie again. I can't keep doing these crappy setups." Ngozi clicked her tongue. It's not a complete lie. We used to be a wealthy family before your father made that foolish investment in oil stocks. But we are not rich anymore," Adana argued. "We are completely tricking them. I'm tired of these dates. Marriage should be about love, not money." "Nonsense," Ngozi scoffed. "Marriage is how families join to build wealth and power. Do you not want your family anymore? Or have you forgotten about your sister Chioma's medical bills? Do you want to abandon her when she needs you most?" Adana felt a pang of guilt. "I never said that. You know how much we have been struggling lately." "Good girl," Ngozi said, patting her arm. "It's going to be great, you will see. Now, get ready. This is the richest Yoruba family we have met so far. Oh, here they come." A well-dressed couple approached their table, accompanied by a handsome young man. Ngozi stood up, all smiles. Mr. and Mrs. Adeyemi, so good to see you again. This is our daughter, Adana." Adana said softly, forcing a smile. Mrs. Adeyemi beamed. "Oh, you are even more beautiful in person. This is our son, Olumide. Don't they look perfect together?" Olumide frowned. "Mom, what is this? You told me we were having lunch with some friends. Did you set me up with another rich girl again?" "Olumide, don't be rude," his father scolded. "Just sit down and give her a chance." Olumide reluctantly took a seat, glaring at his parents. "Fine, let's get this over with." Adana felt her face burning with embarrassment. She'd never seen anyone talk back to their parents like that before. Olumide turned to her. "Look, this is awkward. I would be a terrible husband, okay? You really don't want to marry me. And my parents, oh my God, you'd hate them. My mom is constantly complaining about everything." "Olumide," Mrs. Adeyemi gasped. "What? This is what you get for tricking me into this," he shot back. Adana was amazed. She'd never been brave enough to stand up to her own parents that way. Mr. Adeyemi tried to salvage the situation. "I'm sorry. He hasn't grown up yet. He just wants to stay single forever and ruin this family." "I told you to stop setting me up, and you decide to trick me instead." Olumide stood up abruptly. "Yeah, I'm out of here." As he stormed off, Adana realized this man was different from all the others she had met so far. He was better than them. He was better than her. That day, Adana was inspired to fight back against her parents' schemes. She begged them to find another way out of their financial troubles, but her mother wouldn't budge. "Don't be naive, Adana," Ngozi said. Let's just get multiple jobs. We will work harder." Do you hear yourself? Do you really think we are going to pay off Chioma's debt by working harder? Or do you want to pass it on to her, since clearly you don't think it's your responsibility? "I never said that," Adana protested. "The Adeyemis really liked you," Ngozi continued. "They have personally invited you to their house. You are not messing up this chance for us. You got it?" Adana knew she should have fought back like Olumide did, but she couldn't. There was too much at stake. Anger bubbled up inside her as she went to the Adeyemi's house the next day. Why was she so weak? Why did Chioma have to fall sick? How did her father have to lose all their money? She was furious at her parents, at herself, at this old twisted world. As she approached the house, she heard raised voices from inside. I'm so tired of this. It was Olumide. You are not leaving. I am sick and tired of this disrespect. Do something then. Olumide shouted back. Why are they fighting? Adana hesitated at the door, unsure if she should interrupt. Mr. Adeyemi's voice boomed. We took the effort to apologize to that girl's parents and invite her over here. Now, you are not leaving without seeing her. I told you that you cannot force me to marry or meet someone I don't want, Olumide argued. There is nothing you can do to change my mind. Yes, there is, his father threatened. I can disinherit you and remove you from the company. What do you think? I want a useless philanderer of a son? Do you think someone without a wife or an heir has the right to inherit what I have built? You take one more step off this property today and I will ensure that you are penniless. Stop it. Adana couldn't hold back anymore. She burst into the room. Everyone turned to stare at her. Adana, you are here. Yes, Mrs. Adeyemi. Mrs. Adeyemi looked flustered. What are you doing? Adana's anger finally boiled over. Why are you talking to your son like that? Who do you think you are to raise your voice at him? Mr. Adeyemi's face darkened. Who do you think you are to raise your voice at me? I will deal with my son however I see fit. Adana knew she should shut up, but she couldn't stop herself. If you are threatening your son by forcing him to make a life-changing decision, then you are a bad parent. Excuse me? Mr. Adeyemi's voice was dangerously low. Do you know who I am? Yes, you are a bad parent, Adana snapped. Okay, that's enough, Olumide interrupted. He grabbed Adana's hand. Come on, we are out of here. As they hurried out of the house, Mrs. Adeyemi's wails followed them. Look what you did now. He's never going to come back. Once they were a safe distance away, Olumide turned to Adana. Thank you for sticking up for me, but you shouldn't have done that. My father is a good person. It was horrible to you, Adana said. I couldn't watch it. Thank you, but again, you really don't need to do that, especially after how rude I was to you yesterday. Adana shook her head. I didn't think you were rude at all. I was actually amazed at how you fought back. I wish I could be more like you. Olumide smiled. I want to be more like you. The fact is, my parents forced me to pursue you too. They made me come here, but I don't have to listen to them. I know the difference between right and wrong, and this is wrong. So I cannot do this. I will leave you alone now, but it was nice to meet you, Adana. Wait, Adana called out as he started to walk away. I have an idea. What if we tell our parents that we are dating? They can't force us to get married immediately, right? We can buy some time and they probably wouldn't bother us again for at least a year. Olumide considered this. That's actually not a bad idea. If my parents left me alone and stopped sending me on these endless setups, I could focus on getting more jobs and supporting my sister myself, Adana explained. Let's do it, Olumide agreed. We have a deal. Adana partnered up with Olumide and they drafted a lie that would appease both their parents. Later that week, they announced that they were dating. Ngozi was over the moon. She hugged Adana for the first time in years. My daughter is going to marry into a wealthy Yoruba family. Calm down, Mom, Adana said. Don't rush us. We need at least a year to get to know each other. Oh, I know, honey. Ngozi gushed. It's just, I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. Now that Adana finally got her parents off her back, she got a second job working as a freelancer online. She spent several nights poring over her laptop. Of course, She had to go to work during the day too, and the whole hassle left her exhausted. In the middle of it all, she had to go on regular dates with Olumide or her parents would get suspicious. But the odd thing was, these so-called dates, they were actually really fun. Since they weren't really together, there was no pressure. Adana could just be herself. They watched Nollywood movies, went to museums in Lagos and ate jollof rice and suya until their stomachs hurt. In her stressful, hectic life, Olumide was a breath of fresh air. Adana couldn't help but look forward to meeting him with her whole heart. But whenever the feelings got too strong, she squashed them down. Remember, Adana, she told herself, you are dead poor and you lied to him. He will never date someone like you. Hey, are you all right? Olumide asked one day, noticing a downcast expression. You look down. No, I'm fine, Adana lied. It was pretty stressful trying to hide her lies from him. She was working so much that she often had to cancel on him, and she had to make a different excuse each time. She could tell he was getting suspicious. One time, Adana was working at her waitressing job when she saw Olumide about to walk inside. If he found out she was a waitress, he definitely knew she was a liar. She threw off her apron, pulled down her hair, and rushed to a table to pretend she was a customer. Hey, what are you doing here? She asked nervously when he spotted her. I was just eating alone. Adana stammered. Why are you here? I was just grabbing some coffee, Olumide replied, looking confused. Why are you sweaty and out of breath? I just did like 10 jumping jacks, Adana said lamely. Olumide's brow furrowed. Adana, are you seeing someone else? I mean, not that I care, I just... No, Adana exclaimed. I was just here alone. I feel like you are hiding something from me, Olumide said slowly. Just then, Adana's manager came out of the kitchen and she panicked. What if she asked Adana to get back to work? She jumped to her feet and made an excuse. I actually have to go to the bathroom. Outside here, the bathrooms in here are gross. This was not sustainable. If Adana wanted any chance of being in Olumide's life, she had to come clean to him herself. She gathered up the courage that week and went over to his house to see him. But when she got there, she found some unexpected guest in his living room. What is going on here? She asked, seeing Olumide with his parents and another young woman. Hey Adana, Olumide said, looking uncomfortable. I'm glad you made it. You invited her here? Mrs. Adeyemi asked, surprised. Yeah, she said she wanted to come, so I said yes, Olumide explained. Besides, Adana is my girlfriend. I didn't know he had a girlfriend, the other young woman said, looking disappointed. My parents are already trying to set me up with someone else, Olumide said to Adana. Can you believe that? This is Amina, she's Hausa. Amina is gorgeous, Mrs. Adeyemi gushed. She's well-read and she's from an esteemed family. So is Adana, Olumide argued. Mr. Adeyemi scoffed. No, she's not. In fact, I'm glad you are here, Miss Adana. I get to expose you to your face. Adana felt her heart sink. What are you talking about? After the embarrassing manner in which you spoke to me last time, I did some research, Mr. Adeyemi said smugly. Turns out your father made some horrible investment in the stock market, didn't he? You are completely broke, aren't you? And you just came after Olumide for our money. That's not true, Olumide protested. Dad, Adana's never pushed me to marry her or to be with her. She spends time with me because she likes me, not because I'm rich. I can't believe that you would make stuff up about her just to make me stop. Adana interrupted. She couldn't bear to hear Olumide defend her anymore. I can't lie anymore. It's true. I'm broke. What? Olumide looked stunned. We are not wealthy, Adana continued, tears foaming in her eyes. In fact, I think my parents are like million naira in debt. And we did go after you because you are wealthy. But that's not why I continue to stay with you. I really loved hanging out with you and getting to know you. That was all real. Nonsense, Mr. Adeyemi sneered. You were just trying to trick Olumide into falling for you. I've seen manipulative women like you before. God only knows what would have happened to Olumide if I hadn't stepped in. I'm sorry, Olumide, Adana said, her voice breaking. I would never take advantage of you. You have to believe me. But Olumide just stared at her, his expression unreadable. Finally, Adana's secret was out, and it came out in the worst way possible. She wanted to tell Olumide herself, but she waited too long, and now the opportunity was gone forever. She was heartbroken and exhausted. Adana had only one place left to go. She rushed to the hospital to be by her sister's side. She tried to keep her composure, but she didn't want to bother Chioma. Her mother came storming into the room, looking utterly furious. Adana, Ngozi shouted, "The Adeyemis just called me. You told them we are in millions of debt?" They found out on their own, Adana explained wearily. I just owned up to it because you yelled at them first. Otherwise, they would have never checked. Isn't that true? Ngozi's face reddened. Yes, we lost one of the richest families because of you. I cannot believe you ruined this for me. It is so stupid, but I'm forgiving you. We will find you a new husband. I will set up some more dates. No, Adana said firmly. What? I said no. I'm not being set up anymore. I'm not going out with random guys anymore. And I'm not lying for you anymore. Ngozi's eyes narrowed, feeling all brave. After I forgave you for messing it up with the Adeyemis, you are going to be selfish and ungrateful and leave Chioma alone? If you really cared about Chioma, you'd have 3 jobs like I do. Adana shot back. But all you care about is your personal wealth and status, and you use me for it. How dare you, Ngozi shrieked. I raised you, and you will do as I say. I will never listen to you again, Adana declared. I will never let you manipulate me again. Make your own money. We are done. We are not done, Ngozi began, but Adana pushed past her and out of the room. The moment they were alone, Chioma demanded to know what happened. Adana finally told her sister everything that happened from the start. Adana, Chioma said softly, you really let our parents do all that to you? Why? Because we are in a mountain of debt, Adana explained. That debt, the mortgage, and your medical bills. That's what we were going to say. Chioma's eyes filled with tears. Did you do all this for me? Adana hesitated. No, I mean, not just for you. It's complicated. Then why did you do it? Chioma pressed. I mean, we had a plan, remember? We were going to start our own online fashion business and pay it all off. Adana sighed. Chioma, dreams are great, but they are not reality. We are so far in debt that we can't even get a loan. So, should we marry someone just to pay off my bills? Chioma asked, her voice breaking. You are making yourself unhappy. I would do anything for you, Adana said softly. I know that, Chioma replied, but you should really tell that boy Olumide about me. Adana shook her head firmly. Absolutely not. I will not use you as an excuse for my lies. I've hurt him enough, and I just need to leave him alone. Of course, Chioma wasn't going to listen to her sister. Adana fell asleep beside her bed, exhausted from the day's events. When morning came, she was woken up by the touch of warm fingers on her head. She looked up to see Olumide looking down at her. Olumide, Adana gasped, sitting up quickly. What are you doing here? Olumide smiled sheepishly. Well, your sister texted me on your phone and gave me the address, so here I am. Adana turned to glare at Chioma, who just grinds. What? You were being all moppy, so I had to do it. Now you can talk it out. Olumide pulled up a chair next to Adana. Why didn't you tell me about your sister and all the jobs you were doing? I would have understood. Adana looked down at her hands. Because I didn't want to use her as an excuse. It was me who decided to lie and follow my mom's schemes. But you were doing it because you were in a bad situation. Olumide said gently, Adana, you should have trusted me and told me. I didn't want you to think that I'm a liar, Adana whispered. I don't think you are a liar, Olumide said firmly. Adana looked up at him in surprise. You don't? Well, I did last night, Olumide admitted. But after everything your sister told me, I'm not angry at you, Adana. Really? You are not? Olumide shook his head. You weren't be evil. You were just trying to survive. Yes, you lied to me, but you didn't want to marry me. And you weren't trying to trick me. You were working hard to solve your problems on your own. I mean, how can I be mad at you for that? You are a good person, Adana. Don't hide it from me. Adana felt tears welling up in her eyes. So we can still be friends? Unless, Olumide hesitated, unless you are seeing someone. Adana's eyes widened. Is that jealousy that I smell? Olumide blushed. No, I mean maybe actually yeah. I'm just hoping that you go out with me. That's all. What? Adana gasped. Yeah, Olumide said, looking nervous. I like you, Adana. You are beautiful, you are funny, and you are kinder than you know. I really want to start spending time with you and get to know you and take you out for real. But there's one condition. Adana held her breath. What's that? I'm paying your sister's medical bill, Olumide said firmly. No, Adana protested. Come on, no, absolutely not. I can't let you do that. The whole point was not to spend your money. I know, Olumide said, but it's only ₦1,000,000 and I'd be happy to spend it on you because I love you. Adana felt her heart skip a beat. And I love you too, she whispered. Of course, Olumide didn't listen to her protest. He didn't pay Chioma's entire bill, but he did become the very first investor for Adana and Chioma's company when Chioma got better. The sisters finally started their online fashion business together, specializing in modern takes on traditional Nigerian clothing. They called it Igbo chic, and it quickly gained popularity among young Nigerians looking to embrace their heritage while staying fashionable. In a few years, they made enough money to pay off all their debts themselves. They even had some money left over for Adana's small wedding with Olumide. The ceremony was a beautiful blend of Igbo and Yoruba traditions, with Chioma as the maid of honor, of course. Neither of their parents showed up to the wedding. Ngozi was still bitter about Adana's defiance, and the Adeyemis couldn't accept that their son was marrying a formerly poor Igbo girl. But Adana and Olumide were still blissfully happy. Their love story became somewhat of a legend in the whole of Nigeria. People would point them out on the streets and whisper, that's the couple who pretended to be rich to please their parents but ended up falling in love for real. Adana often thought back to those early days of lies and deception. She was grateful for how things turned out, but she made sure to always be honest with Olumide from that point on. They built their relationship on trust and mutual respect, supporting each other through thick and thin. As for Chioma, she fully recovered and became the creative director of their fashion line. She never let Adana forget that she was the one who brought her and Olumide back together that day in the hospital. Years later, when Adana and Olumide's daughter asked how they met, they always told her the truth. We met because of a lie, they would say, but we fell in love because of the truth. And so in the city of Lagos, where wealth often dictated relationships and marriage was seen as a business transaction, Adana and Olumide's story stood out as a testament to the power of honesty, hard work, and true love. They have created their own fairy tale, not through deceit or manipulation, but through understanding, forgiveness, and the courage to be themselves. The end. Thank you for watching. Please, please, please kindly subscribe to this channel to support our work. Turn on your post notifications so that you'll be the first person to know when new content drop. And don't forget to share our content. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button before leaving. Thank you. Bye for now.